Hello everyone, Sir Kenneth here. For this tutorial, tuturuan ko kayo kung paano mag-factor ng quadratic equation using completing the square. What is completing the square? It is a technique in factoring quadratic equations by reducing a part of it to a square of a binomial. If we are given ng isang quadratic equation with the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants, then kailangan nating i-reduce yung part na to into a square of a binomial. By doing this, we can solve for the value of x and factor our equation. Completing the square is easy kasi we only have to follow certain steps. Pero medyo may kahabaan lang siya ng konti, kaya kailangan natin ng konting ingat. Now, let's start. What are the steps? For completing the square, we will be considering two cases. Ang case 1 natin, where our a is equal to 1. Ibig sabihin, yung constant na katabi ng ating x squared is just equal to 1. For our first step, given this quadratic equation, we have to get the additive inverse of c, yung constant natin dito, then add it to both sides of the equation. Ito yung mas kilala natin sa tawag na pagtatranspose. For this tutorial, I will be discussing the concepts dito sa left side and then gagawin natin siya in this example sa right side. We will be doing it simultaneously para mas nakukuha natin yung konsepto. Since yung a natin, this is just equal to 1, 1 times x squared, this is just equal to x squared. So, wala tayong mangyayari dito sa right side. This is for our first case, na yung a natin is just equal to 1. Next, sundan natin yung process, kunin natin yung additive inverse ni c. Ano yung i-add ko kay c para siya ay maging 0? That is equal to negative c. Kasi pag in-add ko si c kay negative c, this will become equal to 0. Ang gagawin natin, since in-add ko si negative c sa left side, i-add ko rin siya sa right side. Same here dito sa kabila. Our c is equal to 3. Ang additive inverse ng 3 is negative 3. Since I added negative 3 sa left side ng equation, mag-a-add din ako ng negative 3 dito sa right side ng ating equation. Then we simplify, c minus c is just equal to 0, kaya natira si x squared plus bx. And then, 0 minus c, this is just equal to negative c. Dito sa example natin, 3 minus 3 is just equal to 0. Kaya natira si x squared plus 4x. 0 minus 3, this is negative 3. That is how we apply our first step. In a short way, yung c natin ay tinranspose lang natin dun sa kabilang side ng ating equation. Yung 3 natin ay tinranspose natin dun sa kabilang side ng equation. Pero in mathematics, walang property na transposition. That is just a shortcut for this process na gumamit tayo ng addition property of equality. For our next step, kunin natin yung third term ng ating square of a binomial by dividing b. Yung b naman natin is the second constant of our quadratic equation, yung kapartner ni x. In this case, eto siya, 4x, our b is this constant 4. Then, we have to solve for b over 2 squared. Ibig sabihin, itong b natin na 4, i-divide natin kay 2, and then we will be getting its square. To do that, this is b over 2 squared. b is 4 over 2 squared. 4 over 2 is 2, and then squared. 2 squared is just equal to 4. Our b over 2 squared is equal to 4. Tandaan na natin si b over 2 squared kasi this is essential sa completing the square. Then, for our third step, after we get b over 2 squared, i-add natin siya both sides of the equation. As we do that, dito, i-add natin si b over 2 squared sa left side at sa right side. Dito naman sa ating example, our b over 2 squared is 4. Kaya ang ginawa natin, in-add natin si 4 dun sa left side at dun sa right side ng ating equation. Then, we simplify. Negative 3 plus 4 is just equal to positive 1. Then we arrive at x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 1. For our fourth step, we factor the perfect square binomial sa left side ng ating equation. This part is already a perfect square binomial kasi kinuha na natin si b over 2 squared. Paano siya gawin? What we do is we add our x to our b over 2. In this case, our b over 2 is b is 4 and then dinivide natin siya kay 2. Our b over 2 is equal to 2. Kaya yung 2 natin ang ilalagay natin dito sa loob nitong grouping symbol na to. So this become x plus 2 and then squared. X squared plus 4x plus 4, this is equal to x plus 2 squared. Now we have our square of a binomial. For our last step, we have to solve for the value of x. Given this x plus 2 squared is equal to 1, this is already our last step. Then, para makuha natin yung x, we have to get the square root of our left side and our right side of our equation. Kaya ang mangyayari, since this is the square root of a square, so yung square root natin mawawala, yung square ay mawawala rin. What will be left here is just x plus 2 and then square root of 1 is positive and negative 1. That is crucial. Huwag kalimutan si positive and negative 1. Then solving for the value of x, ang gagawin natin is we will be solving separately yung positive 1 and negative 1. Now we can solve here for our first one. For positive 1, we will be using addition property of equality para si negative 2 mapunta sa kabila. This will become 1 minus 2 and then 1 minus 2, x is just equal to negative 1. This is our first x. And for our negative 1 part, we will be again using addition property of equality, transpose if you might, ilipat natin si 2 sa kabila. This will become negative 1 minus 2 and that is equal to negative 3. And this is our final answer.